Video is actually about a tier list of an anime, particularly the characters from said anime. And the anime is called The Seventh Prince, but I'm obsessed with studying more magic stuff. Yeah, I'm actually not remembering the whole title right now, but it was something close to what they just said. And that is though, because I'm not sure how long this is gonna take. Let's just begin. Now, to quickly go through the tier list, it's very obvious what they have here, although some of these seem like just the same character but in different art styles. More specifically, Lloyd. I feel like I've seen Lloyd in 7 different pictures here. Alright, what do I do? There's also multiple versions of Grimm. Wait, is this Lloyd who's possessed Grimm? So this is another version of him. So yeah, that's something that happens. I'll talk about Lloyd at the end. First, let's rank the others. After I finish placing the 10,000 Lloyds.
Eventually.
What are you? You seem familiar. Why did you leave me? Maybe you're familiar, maybe you're not. So sure. The manga and the perfect year seem incredible before. What makes sense, there's been only one season at least as of the moment of recording this. Is there even any character that I don't know why they were in the story? That I don't like them being there? From everyone here, and I think this about covers everyone that's relevant at least in season 1. Genuinely no, I think. Yeah, I probably won't put anyone of why are they even here, for one reason or another. Even this cool dog design of the sister of Lloyd, which I'm not seeing her here. She has to be somewhere. Lloyd's sister, that is that her? Maybe that's her. Let's see, anyone else that looks more like her? Is that her? They're not covered, so I really can't tell. I know his sister was adorable and she always rides on her magical dog beast that's down there. Sure, I'm gonna use this picture as her.
Later.
Yeah, I guess there really isn't a character I don't like from season 1. I mean, yeah, I really enjoyed season 1, so makes sense, I guess. Is there any characters that are just there? Sure, the familiar dog is just there. It's a cool design. The introduction to the power system of controlling magical creatures, which I really love, but it didn't really show much of a personality. I like its design, I like its purpose, but it was just there technically, it didn't show much. So who's next? I don't think there's gonna be anyone else that's just there. Everyone else is at least at the point where I like them, or I really enjoy their presence in the story. I guess this picture, which I'm using as Lloyd's sister that we met in season 1, she's going to be okay. I don't love her, but I really do. It's gonna put her at okay, but no, that's impossible. It's at least a tier higher than okay, because my favorite power, just in general when it comes to fantasy, is the ability to control other creatures, summon other creatures, basically someone that uses other things to fight for them. And that's her thing. So yeah, just on her power alone, she is there. Also, I think she has a cute character design, even though I'm not sure whether this is her. Next, who else? Who was just okay? I guess I can talk about the group of assassins. The one that's just most meh when it comes to just personality and ability is Crow, right? The one that has cursed speech from Jujutsu Kaisen. Whatever he says they have to do. His power is very straightforward. His design is also simple, and character-wise he didn't really leave much of an impression on me, because once they removed the thing of he has to be quiet so that he doesn't hurt anyone, he really feels kind of empty for now. Maybe they'll introduce more for him in the future, I'm gonna appreciate him more, but for now he's, I think, definitely the worst of the assassins. I feel like he's the only one that really left kind of a zero impression on me. Now, are these two Taos? Tao? And also, is this Mecha Tao? I'm just gonna go with this one, just be the Tao. There's too many repeats here. I actually do understand why there's 2 different versions of Grimm though. Grimm before, at the very start when we meet him, and Grimm after he got a lot of development, being alongside Lloyd. Which, to be fair, if I'm treating them like that, Grimm at the very start just being a casual demon, decently powerful demon, he's just there. He's comically evil, it was funny of how Lloyd absolutely destroyed him, but I feel like Grimm after he becomes Lloyd's familiar is much more interesting. So sure, you'll be the only one also to, you'll be the very bottom. Grimm pre-development. Now, okay, I guess I can quickly knock out the rest of the assassins. Oh, also, I think the one that's the priest sister of Lloyd that I watched in the trailer, I know nothing about her, but she has holy magic. Yeah, I don't know, I guess I have to put her at manga, because currently at least I know nothing. I saw her character design, I like it, and it seems like just like her other sister, she really loves Lloyd. She's a... Point is, all of the 7 siblings love their little brother. Although, actually there are more than 7, right? He's the 7th prince, which means that there's at least 6 brothers, but we don't even know how many sisters there are. From the trailer season 2 though, I'm not seeing a certain couple characters I saw that are gonna be in season 2. But anyway, whenever that happens, it happens. For now, the rest of the assassins. The guy that basically has no bones in his body and can contract in any sort of way and manner is... You know, I do enjoy his cheeky personality. I don't really enjoy his magic because it seems so ridiculously weak. But hey, I do enjoy his personality, and maybe his abilities are gonna surprise me in the future. Talking about abilities that are probably gonna surprise me. Sure, the waifu that gets hurt whenever she activates her visual powers. I'll be fair, I am kind of biased, just solely on character design. I really appreciate her character design. She's getting to be this high on the list. But no, genuinely I also do like the ability to... Her magic is actually probably the most interesting to me out of all of the assassins. So yeah, her ability, at least to what it can actually do in the story, I feel like is the most relevant, even for the future. Theoretically, she could always just throw herself against an attack even against the most powerful god in this world, and technically if she dies, her opponent also dies. But hey, cool power and great character design, that's all you need in order to be this high on this list. The rest... Spider Assassin, I'm gonna place you here. I like you, Dev. You're definitely gonna be the king of C tier. Because you didn't really show that much, but hey, I enjoy also the... I guess the archetype of character where he's a giant man, but he's also a very nice person and he's trying to help out. But unfortunately enough, his power is just spider webs. It's not particularly interesting or impressive. I think he's also actually the current leader of them, right? Well, now the leader at the end is Lloyd, but just of them without Lloyd, I think he's the leader currently. Right. This is gonna be interesting where I place the rest of these. I guess the guy with the demon with the poop hat. I will admit, it's one of those situations where he's a character that just got killed, he's irrelevant in the long term of the story, but his character design is absolutely stupid, and the fact that he was enough of a relevant threat that we actually dedicated an episode to him, it makes me really want to place him higher than he has any right to be. So you know what, because we're never seeing you again, but even though we're never seeing this guy again, I'm gonna place him at the very top of B, because if I do any future tier lists about season 2 or even more seasons that come out, he's never coming up again, I presume. So sure. Wait, this is the maid, but this is sort of the sword. Again, another character that just repeats. So first, the reason the creator of the Assassin's Guild, the one who was kind of the reason that the demon was defeated, or at least at the very least he was able to escape. It's difficult. I think he would have been a fun character and would have liked him more if we actually got to see him being alive and being able to do more for the story, but because we just got him in flashbacks and how much the rest of the assassins loved him, and once again he got the cool moment of being the reason why the demon that possessed him is gonna die, and him even predicting the future. I guess also he kinda left the clue of how to decipher and use the teleportation magic for Void, even though he didn't know that he left it specifically for Void. He just left the information deciphered, even though he didn't know that Lloyd is gonna use it in that way. I think that's how it ended, right? With Lloyd understanding how the magic works because this guy, which I'm really struggling to remember the name of, was able to defeat his curse. But still, I'm just gonna place him at the top of B, because I really did like him, even though we didn't get that much of him. Now, talking about characters we didn't get much of what I liked. Brother that creates magical tools. Probably I want to give him the very top of B, but unfortunately one of those things where I don't feel like we got enough of him, even though we got a decent bit. However, I really enjoy it. The other aspect of Fancy that's one of my favorites is the ability to create magical weapons, and this is kind of his whole thing. So for the future he also, because he's one of Lloyd's brothers, feels like he's gonna be relevant. Hence, I'm just gonna place him at... I guess I'm gonna place him at third place for now. Because I am confident we're gonna get more of him. Once again, he's one of the brothers. He's gonna be more relevant in some way, somehow, maybe even multiple seasons, depending on how many we get. There's just not enough for me to justify for him to be higher, even though I really enjoy his niche in this fancy world. Next, assassin girl that's going to well, she's already fallen in love with Lloyd, to be fair, and has the poison magic. Sadly, even though you got the most development out of all of the assassins, I'm gonna place you behind the prince, because I feel like I'm very aware of where her story is going. I could be wrong, but she didn't really impress me with her power. I have a pretty strong idea that she just had a member that's going to be for Lloyd, and that's all there is to it. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, because I definitely prefer focus on magic rather than just relationship, but precisely because I know Lloyd, I truly doubt we're gonna be exploring any sort of relationship for Lloyd for a while, at least any deep romantic relationship. It seems so unlikely, and I kinda hope they don't even go in that direction, but it's one of those things where if you don't, and for now it seems like that's her whole character, her being in love with Lloyd, which I know that wasn't the focus on season 1, she did want to get rid of the curse just like all of the assassins. I like their backstory, I understand that there's a lot of potential there. I just don't think that they're gonna go much further than she just loves Lloyd in the future. I could be wrong, and I wouldn't mind changing my opinion if proven to be wrong. But for now, she's just there. I like her, and yeah, of course, I forgot to mention, I think, her power. Definitely, once again, one of those things that really didn't impress me as much as I would have wanted. She definitely doesn't have the worst or least interesting power as an assassin, and I guess there was the thing of them saying that she can use her poisons to actually become a healer, so that's a little curious, so yeah, but still, I won't place her much higher. Yeah, now these guys. First we have the main villain of season 1, the Demon King or Demon Prince. I would place him at A for now. He's not gonna be probably the top of it, but I'm placing him there because I enjoy villains that sometimes are just evil to be evil and are a cool and competent threat. And that's what this guy was. Obviously Lloyd is overpowered, so he didn't struggle that much, but point is, he was determined to just absolutely destroy Lloyd. He had some very comical moments, which is something I very much so enjoy in a villain that can take himself super seriously, but also have some fun moments. I think he did work as a villain. He didn't really have much of a deep motivation or anything, he just is an evil guy that wants to destroy the world and rule it for demons, which sometimes is enough, just being a physical threat for that one arc and that being it. So I guess that's that, don't really have much else to say. Best boy in the show, he's going to be for now the king of A. But yes, I adore dogs, I really do. That's all there is to it. Next we're gonna have Tao. Tao is also, I guess, now gonna be... I'm just gonna place her at A. I really enjoy her introducing this new aspect of the power system, and frankly that's something I'm really enjoying about the anime overall, introducing more and more different aspects of how magic works, and it makes so much sense. Obviously that's kind of the whole point of Lloyd. He adores the magic. The world building is an essential motivation for him, which is one of those things that actually makes me appreciate the anime much more, but maybe I'll talk about later when I get to Lloyd. Point is, she's from different continent, understands magic slightly differently. It is. I'm shocked, because usually I really don't place that many characters in S. Obviously, Lloyd is kind of cheating, because I would say probably every single one of these guys, which I think this is Lloyd. If this is a different character, I'm treating it as if this is Lloyd. But yeah, I think all of these guys have probably an S for me. So where do we begin? Best girl, mate, swordsman mate, she is at the bottom of S. Because, I'll be fair, character design, don't have much else to say. She also is pretty funny with how she treats other characters whenever they're trying to get in Lloyd's good side, being a little jealous. Also how comfortable she is with Lloyd. She also, I guess, she does have a little bit of a personality of how she's super focused on making Lloyd a powerful swordsman, and how she's able to make him do things, being one of the few characters that is. And I do wonder how good of a swordsman Lloyd actually is if he actually didn't have magic. I feel like it would be interesting to see, but anyway, just so that I can tell how good of a teacher she is. But yes, overall, whether it be her skills or her appearance, I very much so appreciate her, so she is gonna be at the bottom of S. Now, when it comes to character, I think I'm gonna place I think this is he's not the second prince. I think the fifth prince is the brother that's not swordsmith but blacksmith. And I think this guy is the third prince? I could be wrong. He's not the sixth, right? I can't remember, I really can't. The reason I like him is the character obviously enough we got from this season, where he is actually a very caring older brother, and we did see it multiple times. Whenever he thought that some suspicious things have happened to Lloyd, he was ready to obliterate the spider assassin. And yeah, just a fun little joke, I understand it, but they have been pretty consistent of how much he cares about his brother. And even more so towards the ending of the last couple episodes, they showed that he actually cares about the people and he wants to be a good leader and help everyone. And even the very ending of talking to Lloyd how he should take responsibility and even also ask for help from others. I just really love everything they showed of how he's a good brother, but he also takes his responsibilities of royalty very seriously, and also has Lloyd and tries to help him take his responsibilities incredibly seriously. Even if he, as he says himself, is the seventh prince and he doesn't have that many, he still should understand that he does represent the crown and should act with the knowledge of what that means. Also, on top of everything, he got a cool magical sword that made him overpowered at the end. So yeah, I appreciate him. The last two characters, Grimm. I would say the character that got most of the character development in this season, and my second favorite character. And also he's the character that got most amount of screen time after Lloyd. So yeah, he's definitely in second place, Grimm. And what I enjoyed is that it's one of those stories as old as time, that an evil creature that just cares about himself, wants to be super powerful, once actually being forced, even though it's against his will, once put in a situation where someone who cares about him helps him, I guess, just understand the world better, even if it is completely against his will from the start. I do believe that by the end, Grimm really starts to appreciate Lloyd and how much he cares about others. And I can talk about Lloyd in a second, but yeah, just he changed a lot after being with Lloyd, not just because Lloyd is the most overpowered thing that's ever lived and he realizes how insignificant he is in comparison. There is a very big jump from the Grimm at the end, and this one that just wanted to completely obliterate all of humanity without any care in the world. So whether it be his contribution to the actual fight in the series, where by allowing Lloyd to double cast, or simply being some hilarious comic relief, or just maybe being a little bit of an exposition provider. Is that the word I was going for? Sure, point is, he gives information about the world, because he himself is a demon and that was kind of the focus of the first arc. And precisely because he is Lloyd's familiar and he's with him most of the time, I feel like it's super obvious to see that he's gonna have much more to do in the story somewhere or another. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed the journey that Grimm went on throughout this season 1. But talking about a character that has been actually kind of stagnant, and I feel like he didn't really change at all in any moment, but that's fine because I don't feel like it's necessary for every character to completely change by the end of the story. We have the seventh prince himself, Lloyd. The reason why I really like Lloyd is quite simple. I really enjoy characters that have an insane, I would dare say, completely unhealthy desire, drive, obsession towards a goal, and are basically gonna achieve that goal, and they're willing to do almost everything in order to achieve it. And that's the line that really makes a hero from a villain for me, where they have a goal and they will achieve that goal, but have limits that they will not cross. Even for Lloyd, which you might think that I am speaking complete and utter nonsense if you watch season 1, he's just a magical maniac that cares about nothing else, but at least the vibe I got from the moments we got, especially with the very ending scene where he took the other assassins, even though he says that it's just to test their magical abilities, and even during the fight against the archdemon, there was glimpses of the fact that he actually really appreciates the people around him, of how they actually use magic themselves. He actually cares about his family, and while also doing all of that, he is just super obsessed with magic and he is willing to do some super messed up things. Honestly, to himself, like, I think this happened. During the fight he cut a limb and just regenerated it. That happened, right? Oh no, I think that was whenever he faced Grimm. He let his arm get completely burnt and destroyed just so that he can regenerate it because he was curious of how it would work. Yeah, Lloyd is a complete maniac. He has many issues, but while being that way, he still cares for his family and the people that have put trust in him. So I really enjoy the contrast of that. And I really hope that in season 2 this trend continues of him being the magical maniac. I mean, to be fair, even his backstory really proves how obsessed with magic he is. He let himself, or even if he didn't let himself, he got burned alive through magic and enjoyed every second of it. Really appreciated the experience of going through that. So yeah, he is insane. But, as I said, while being insane, I do believe there is limits he wouldn't cross. Well, it could be one of those things where, yeah, he might kill family members once he has the ability to just resurrect them. But anyway, point is that I think he's a great character, and as long as they're able to continue keeping him in the same spirit in the future where he's just as crazy, but has that a very specific line of caring for others, he will probably remain my favorite character, but we'll see. Also, on top of everything, he's just very hilarious. I really love his chibi moments of him being completely unaware of what's happening around him. And it doesn't always work for all characters, but I feel like for Void it's perfect. Just the chibi moments. A specific one that's coming up to mind is whenever he was fighting the Archdemon and he summoned all of those chibi... I don't think they were even chibi when he summoned them, but yeah, the Earth clones, and the Archdemon thought he killed him. He was still hiding somewhere, but the clones were just looking with their chibi, very cute forms around, and the Archdemon was also just confused of what's happening. The comedy in this show is really appreciated, and I feel like Lloyd plays perfectly in it, just like most of the other characters. That is my tier list. Don't really have much else to say, except the fact that I'm very much so excited for season 2. Feel free to tell me whether you agree, disagree. There is a video there you can subscribe to the channel, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.